Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. And this is part 3 and I think the last one. If you look, this is a curve and not a text. But what we're going to do, we're going to take an ellipse and draw an ellipse just to kind of see how big this curve is. And holding down the shift key now so it'll grow from the center. And I'll tell you what, let's nudge it down just a hair. And then holding down the shift key again, so it kind of grows from the center. So that's good. And if we nudge it over, it's not really in the center of the page. So we're going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. And that's what we're going to work off of. Now we're going to take it, excuse me there, I made a paragraph text. I don't ever use a paragraph text. Anyway, we're going to spell out this word in all caps. Now he is going to cut it out, so it needs to be a stencil type font. Everything else will cut out on this one except for the A. And we're going to make it approximately the same size. And we're going to make it a little bit bigger. And this is where you could pick any font you wanted. And depending on, if you need this logo, we're really pretty close, but if you get something to that logo. Now I'm going to text the path first before I do anything else. I'm going to go to text the path, and I'm going to put it right on there, and you see the red line. And now we can nudge it over, and it looks pretty good. So we're going to take now and go to Object and break the text apart. I wouldn't get rid of my circle or my ellipse because you're going to need to do the football club. But we're going to make this font, and this is an easy one. We're going to left click, right click, and I'm going to go to Object and convert it to a curve. By doing that, we can now manipulate. And there's several ways you could do this without it falling out. The A, if you don't, the center part of the A is going to fall out. And the whole letter is going to fall out, so you can't really kind of do much with it. You can see what they did here, and that doesn't look half bad. So what we're going to do is do that same kind of thing. I'm going to go to there, and I am going to take a 2-point line, and I'm going to go from that node to that node, and that node to that node, and then I'm going to take the virtual segment delete key, and I went a little bit too far. Now what I would do before I do anything else, I'd go ahead and smart fill it, and let's nudge it down, and left click, right click, and because it's go up here and go to Object and break curve apart, that'll get rid of that A and get rid of that. And then, well, we got 2 more little lines. Just hit delete. Now we can nudge it right back, and we're exactly in the same spot that we were. And then there's a number of things you could do. Just right off the bat, I would delete these nodes. Doesn't really matter. Just going to be a little cleaner. And then there's several ways you can make that shape. It's going to be a little bit difficult being that it's at an angle, but we're just going to deal with it. Let's go, let's just take a rectangle. And the file I'm using is not using hairline. So let's go ahead and make it red in hairline. And you would also want to make sure everything's a hairline, which it's not. So just double click on your pen tool and make it a hairline. I would have probably changed everything to a hairline first. Then you could take this rectangle and just rotate it. And kind of get it even in the rotation. And this is what I would do. I would take it up here and I'd actually elongate it, put it back in there. I'm trying to get all the corners in. And I'm going to call that good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the Smart Fill tool and fill that shape in. And I'm going to get rid of my box. Sometimes on my laptop I have trouble, and I know I've had people tell me, well, you could hit the Z key and get that done. Now we're going to left click, right click, and again, I'm using his program. So then there's several ways you could do this. One, you could just start moving it down, but you're doing it by hand, but that's close enough. Or if we put it back, you could go to Effects and Contour to the inside, 0.1. That doesn't look half bad. Go up to Object, Break Contour Apart, click on that other box, and then make this a red hairline. And for the one I'm doing this for, if I think I know what I'm doing, you need to draw in RGB all the time. So there's your font. Now, Control G and group it together and nudge it over twice. So now you have a vector font that is a stencil type font in there, and that looks a lot better. It might need to go, you might have wanted to make your circle a little bit bigger to make it even between these spaces. And there's a way to do that, and I probably should have done that from the start. Let me just show you, or show everybody. If you need to get something between, I'm trying to zoom, trying to get something between there and there, just take your parallel dimension tool and measure from there, try to make it perpendicular to there, and we've got 3.93. So we know this circle is 14.9. I'm going to write that down. 14.9 and 3.93. So let's get out an online calculator. 14, or let's do this. 3.93 divided by 2 is that number plus 14.9. So if I would have made my ellipse 16.87, $16.87, and then let's hit P. You can see how it's going to bring it down just a little bit. And you know, whenever you're looking at something like this, when you bring stuff down, you go, well, that doesn't look like it's bringing it down. But it's, you got to think about, not only is it bringing it down there, but it's bringing it down here, so it's kind of equal. So that would have been a lot better if I would have started off with that circle and put it on there. Now, I don't know what these are. That looks like a soccer ball. That's some sort of flower, another soccer ball. And they look pretty good since you're going to cut them out. But I hope that's what he was wanting to do. And so the football club, basically the same thing as I did, except for you're going to have 1, 2. You could use that same A, so you're going to have 1, 2 O's, 3, 4, 5 letters that you're going to have to do what we did here. Anyway, I hope it helped them a little bit. Thank you for watching.